Hi, welcome back to our last part of Module 6, Windows PowerShell course. And we have so far covered getting started from 1 to 6. We are talking about, collections, and we cover pipelines, structures, and later on we will do AD, exchange, and so on. Yeah. A quick recap to this module, this part, which was around collection data structure, and we spoke about array, jagged, and multi-dimensions or dimensional arrays. Then we spoke about array list, a comparison between these two, and then we moved on to the hash tables, and we said what is the hash table, how the hash table works, and we explained this in details. For today is the last part and around hash table. So we gave some examples earlier, but we'll continue with this hash table like performance, how that works. Now we said hash tables, uh, the operation on the hash table are extremely fast as the key is indexed. Accessing by index does take no time, you know. Uh, and then with this example, we have to cover the file, Windows Explorer. We said it's faster, and also we can do the ordering in hash table. This is improvement with v3 and above, which will keep the initial order, providing indexing, and you can see that very basic examples, and change it and do the order as you wish. Result either sorted or unsorted, ascending, descending, and by the key itself, and you can see any basically value more than or nil or equal to, and so on. And more examples around this, like the parameters, again v3 and above. The ps parameter value lets you specify custom values, which will basically, it's an advance for creation. The command and functions used for custom values unless you specify another value. It depends on the authors how they create them, but this feature is especially useful when you must specify the alternate parameter to be used with the command for particular value, which is difficult to remember, like object good and so on, or mutable ID. If the desired value basically various, and you can specify script block and set custom default values for the parameters of CMD and advanced functions, and especially useful when you specify alternate parameter. Splatting is a method of passing a collection of parameter value to a command as a unit. Windows PowerShell associate each value, and you can use that simple to tell Windows that you are passing collection of values instead of a single value. And this method basically parameter values as command as one unit with PowerShell associated with collection. And you can see we can since p3 we can use that on the hash tables, arrays, to avoid value in we call them positional parameter, where parameter names are not required. We can use the array syntax. We can avoid parameter name, and we can use when we use splatting we don't need to use a hash table or array to pass all parameters. You can also use parameter using positions and so on. And the last part is a lab for us here. So what you need to do when you finish, you need to read all the test users description by using the equal sign from ID and add them to a hash table. This key, for users based on SAM account and value for the whole object, like something like this basically. Let me just run this. It's very basic. Also, you can find out if certain keys or value exist, and how we can basically iterate over a hash table using for each. So let me just grab my PowerShell and show you what is it. So I ran that one earlier. I'm expecting you to do the same. So let's have a look at if I run users add method getting AD keys, and you can see sorry, the get SAM account. I don't have a let's see if that works, but you can do it. I don't have access to my test environment, but however you can see that one here. You can retain the value properties for my SAM account. Dev is not there. However you can do it later on. Yeah, I will be attaching these, you know, uh, later on the scripts, and you can use it in your test environment. Okay, but you can see that one. The first one is reading all the test users and from AD and add them to hash table. Again, my machine, this is I don't have access to my AD, and you need to run in like a domain controller test environment where you can see the get hyphen AD users properties, filter them based on some account like there, whatever you got there. On my machine, I haven't got even, it's a Windows 10, so there's no D. You can see there get user properties, you know, object cannot be defined, and because there's no AD basically, you know. Anyway, I mean, that's all what I had for you for today, and that was the last part we spoke about for our module 6, data structure, arrays, array list, hash tables. A quick recap, and hopefully you have learned something useful. We started with that module, we spoke about arrays, and we spoke about array type and jagged array, multidimensional array, and then we said array list, and then we spoke about hash tables. We said what is the array, how it can be zero, like the same other programming languages, and we spoke about how we can access the array. We said array, they provide a reference rather than a values, and then we spoke about hash table, what they are, performance-wise, and how we can utilize them. I think that's all what I had for you for this part. Hopefully you have learned something useful, and the next part will be a bit more advanced. Hopefully I shall see you then. Thank you very much. Goodbye.